So we covered a case about a couple years ago, and it was on a young girl who went missing on Mother's Day. Her name was Tristan Bailey. She was 13 years old, and just a bit of a backstory. She had, I guess, gone out with who she thought was her friend at night, being a typical teenager. Turned out to be a devil in disguise, pure, terrible, shitty demon, and his name is Aiden Fucci. He stabbed her 114 times. So he stabbed her to death in the woods in Florida, and he then ran away from the scene carrying his shoes. His He is seen on his home surveillance video, and then his mom was seen in their own home surveillance video cleaning his jeans, which had blood on them, bleeding and all that. Tristan Bailey's, not his. Okay, so the mom is in trouble. I'm not sure what they're gonna do to her, but I hope they do something because that's aiding and abetting in a crime and covering up a crime. Apparently, he told his classmates he was gonna kill somebody, and it was gonna be that month. Told him exactly what he was gonna do. Told him exactly how he was gonna do it. Told him he was gonna lure them into the woods. He was gonna do all that crazy things, all the crazy things that he did, and terrible, tragic, awful, horrific things that incredibly aiding, like distressing things he did to Tristan Bailey. Well, last month he went to court. We were expecting a trial on this show. We were going to cover it live, or as much as we could live, and at times we were going to cover it just, showing videos of testimonies and things. Thankfully, we didn't have to do that because the coward pled guilty. Whatever his reasons are, he personally did it, and now we're in the sentencing trial. There's been a lot of victim impact statements. We're going to go over one right now, and I will warn you. I usually don't do this, but I will warn you. The content you are about to hear is going to be graphic. It's it's not easy to listen to. I will mute myself so you guys can listen to the statement. We'll come back and we'll talk about it. This is Alexis Bailey. She is the second oldest sister of Tristan Bailey, and she will go over the family order. And there's a very powerful moment in her statement. All of these statements are powerful. This is the family, and we're gonna go over all of this. So grab your box of tissues, consult one another while watching this. We do go over trials on this show because, why not? They're cool to talk about, and it's just I watch these and I feel like I want to watch them with you guys, and you guys can comment. Yes, my eyes, they move. I know. I'm sorry. I just have to comment because the comments are going to come in. Enough of me. Here is Alexis Bailey giving her victim impact statement. Now remember, he can get up to between 40 years in prison or up to life in prison. I would rather a death penalty, but he was not an adult. But he did what an adult could easily do. Amazing. Florida law, though, here we go. I don't support the death penalty, but in some cases, I kind of have to. However, for now, we are going to support the life sentence. Let's listen to Alexis Bailey discuss this. How the family has been torn apart by Aiden Fucci's actions, murdering Tristan Bailey on May 9th, before Mother's Day.
Good morning.
So they're all having stones to add to the bowl for Tristan.
Perfect. My name's Alexis Bailey. I'm Tristan's second oldest sister.
And just for the court's aware, if you would just tell the court the order of the sibling.
So my oldest sister is Brittany Bailey. Again, I'm Alexis Bailey. I'm the second oldest sister, followed by my brother Tegan Bailey, Sophia Bailey, and then Tristan was the youngest of the family.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
$114. Of course.
Wow, this is powerful. This is... Wow. Wow. All I have to say is wow. This is... I'm gonna shut up now, but wow.
This jar now holds 114 stones, one for each of the 114 stab wounds that my sister had to endure. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes between when my sister was last seen and when Aiden Fucci was next seen, running out of the woods holding his shoes because his feet hurt. It's funny that such a simple statement can bring such anger. Aiden Fucci could show compassion for his sore feet, yet had nothing to leave for my beautiful sister. The number of questions I have for Aiden Fucci surrounding that night plague my mind. Did she see you coming at her with the knife? Or did you stab her while she wasn't paying attention? Did she scream out for help? Or was she paralyzed with agony? Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs? What were her last words? Did you stay to watch her die? Or did you leave her there in agonizing pain as you ran away? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave her eyes? Do you know the answer to any of these questions? Or were you too caught up in the thrill of the kill? The last time I heard my sister's voice was May 8th, 2021. I have racked my brains trying to remember the last words she said to me. Was it I love you? Was it goodbye? Or did we say nothing at all? What I do remember is her walking out that door. I have nightmares about that moment. In my dreams, I try to reach out and grab her, beg her to spend the night, anything to prevent what happened just hours later. Yet every time the door closes before I can get to her. The memories of May 9th will forever be ingrained in my mind, body, and soul. To know I was awake and only 11 minutes away from my sister as she was being brutally murdered. Could I have saved her? I remember the vivid feelings of my body collapsing on the ground as the police informed us that they had found a body. Then, finding out hours later it was Tristan's body, I remember becoming physically ill and having a detective grip my hair as my body uncontrollably expelled everything from my stomach between my sobs. The pain I felt in every nerve as I watched my dad lying on the floor, screaming in a way no human should ever be able to produce. Our family broke that day, and I don't recognize any of us anymore. I have watched my parents going from believing that they were good parents to believing they were failures. I have listened to my parents question, what did we do wrong? What kind of mother or father was I not to protect my child? I have watched them overanalyze every conversation, every action, trying to figure out what they could have done differently. I've watched my older sister, Brittany, become unrecognizable with anger. I've watched my brother, Tegan, emotionally shut down and avoid the family due to the pain being home causes. I've watched my younger sister, Sophia, completely lose her childhood and be cast into the role of being a parent and being the resident therapist for my mother. I've seen the changes in myself, the responsibilities and burden that I have had to undertake because of the actions of Aiden Fucci. I am the one who had the responsibility of speaking with the funeral home and forcing my parents to decide which urn to put what remained of Tristyn in. I was the one who had to pick her up from the funeral home and make that long drive home with her ashes. I have what remains of her beautiful blonde hair, now stained red, sitting in my house, haunting me daily. I have had to become the safe place for my parents and hold space for their feelings. I have had to commit every detail of Tristyn's murder to memory so that whenever someone has a question, they need only ask and not be burdened with looking up the answers themselves through the hundreds of pages of court documents and police records. I bear the thoughts that one day the trauma we have all been through because of the actions of Aiden Fucci will cost the lives of my other family members. I have been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. I have been unable to work at times during this process due to the trauma and PTSD attacks triggered by knives, blood, and open wounds. My relationships have suffered. My physical and mental health has diminished, and my goals for the future have seemingly disappeared. Aiden Fucci didn't just take Tristyn's life that day. He took everything from us. Our family, sense of security, laughs, health, and potential. For us, justice does not exist in this case, and closure does not exist in this case. Peace, understanding, and forgiveness will never come. The duty of this court today is to determine and weigh all the factors in this case, to decide the just sentence for the crimes Aiden Fucci committed, with retribution and potential rehabilitation sadly being considered. The only justifiable sentence in this case is a full life sentence. Anything short of that would be an insult to not only our justice system and community, but to our family and Tristyn's legacy. Lastly, I would like to add my own stone to the 114 that I added for Tristyn. This white stone represents my trust in people, which died the day that Aiden Fucci chose to kill my sister. Thank you for your time.
Wow. It's tough, man. It's really tough. It's difficult to listen to that and not be destroyed and not cry and not, like, man, just a couple things I took away. That's tough, but a couple things I took away. I mean, in the beginning, I said that was powerful with with the stones. I mean, 114 times, and we say it all the time. Tristan Bailey was stabbed 114 times with it, and I mean, what a powerful way. This family is incredible. The mom, the dad, and Brittany and Alexis and Tegan and Sophia and Tristyn. They're the Bailey 7 for me still to this day. And it's so powerful that she put in 114 beats. 100 or stones. I'm sorry, stones for every time she was stabbed. Imagine that. Imagine having someone being tortured like that. And he stabbed her when she was still alive, and she fought back and had defensive wounds, and then asking those questions. Did you stab her? Did she see you coming, or did you stab her when she wasn't paying attention? Did you hear the gargling of her blood in her lungs? Did you see her face when her lungs collapsed? Did she cry for our mother? Did she scream for help? Come on, man. And it's like how she said, I was only 11 minutes away, knowing that while she was being brutally murdered. As an older sibling, if my younger siblings went through that, I even 2 feet away, I couldn't, man. That is quite something. And even talking about, and we'll go over a couple other statements that have been, that have happened, and Tegan going into emotional distress and depression and alcoholism and being shutting himself away in his room and having week-long episodes. We'll go over that, and Sophia now having to be their therapist, and Alexis now having to be the safe space person and talk to the funeral home because the parents are too distraught and being physically ill upon finding out it was Tristyn. And I mean, how can you not cry, man? Oh my god. This guy's a coward. Oh, my feet hurt. Imagine how much pain Tristyn went through. And also when she said, did you run away while she was dying, or did you see her die? I'm pretty sure you saw her die, because the person reviewing the autopsy report, the medical person said like she had died at a certain point, and there were 6 fatal wounds, and no one could have survived 114 stab wounds. No one. Nobody. So I hope this guy gets life. I would be disappointed in this judge if he faces that. I mean, he must face a lot of hell, a lot of crap, and this must not really faze him. But I mean, I'm happy with this prosecution's argument, saying he's not going to change. He's absolutely like damaged. He's ruined. This is the guy you get. And, he meant to do this. He wanted to do this. He told the best friends. They did everything that he said that they needed to do to prove that he really meant this. He really meant this. And I would be angry if a judge in Florida, this judge, didn't give him life. Honestly, I would. I would be so shocked. What a terrible fate that Tristyn suffered at this coward's hands. And Tristan Bailey strong. I'll say that.